Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Bank of Jamaica today announces its decision to maintain its highly accommodative monetary policy stance by holding the policy rate unchanged at 0.5% per annum. The policy rate is of course a rate offered to deposit-taking institutions on overnight placements with the Bank of Jamaica. As Jamaica tailors its own response to the escalated COVID-19 pandemic, I think it's important to emphasize that Jamaica's financial system remains sound, well capitalized, and its current holdings of Jamaica dollar liquid balances remain adequate. In an effort to ensure that orderly conditions are maintained, Bank of Jamaica has taken a number of preemptive measures to assure financial institutions and the public of adequate access to both Jamaica dollar and foreign currency liquidity during this challenging period. There are a total of 8 such measures, 3 in respect of foreign currency and 5 to do with Jamaica dollar liquidity. In relation to foreign currency liquidity, first, we will continue to support the foreign exchange needs of businesses in the real sector through direct sales to authorized dealers and cambios as needed. At the same time, we have placed a halt on investment transactions that require the purchase of foreign exchange. Second, with effect from the 19th of March 2020, we have temporarily increased the limit on the foreign currency net open positions of authorized dealers by 5 percentage points. This effectively raises the limit on the positions of these institutions, either long or short, to 25% of regulatory capital, and allows authorized dealers to provide more foreign currency to their clients. Third, we stand ready to expand the volume of foreign currency swap arrangements with authorized dealers, thereby providing them with more foreign exchange liquidity. At 24th of March this year, the stock of outstanding swap contracts totaled US 86 million. In relation to Jamaica dollar liquidity, the bank will facilitate expanded access through the following channels. First, the bank has commenced a bond buying program where we will purchase GOJ securities on the secondary market from financial institutions which hold these instruments. The bank is also prepared to early redeem BOJ securities. At 25th of March 2020, the nominal value of GOJ instruments purchased by BOJ and the early encashment of BOJ instruments amounted to 26.3 billion. Second, with effect from 18th of March 2020, the bank removed the limit on the amounts that deposit-taking institutions can borrow overnight without being charged a penal rate. Liquidity support to DTIs will therefore be made available on demand at the prevailing rate of 2.5%, limited only by collateral. Third, effective today, the 26th of March 2020, we have reintroduced a longer-term lending facility where Jamaica dollar liquidity will be made available to DTIs for periods up to 6 months. This enhances the ability of these institutions to secure their liquidity needs over a longer time horizon. Fourth, we will reactivate an intermediation facility where BOJ will use its balance sheet to facilitate transactions between holders of liquid balances and others who require liquidity if needed. This facility should support a more even distribution of liquidity in the financial system in a context where institutions who could not access interbank loans because of limits placed on them by lenders can now do so indirectly with the central bank standing in the middle of the transaction. Fifth, we have also taken steps to reactivate the emergency liquidity facility that was established in 2015 upon application by any financial institution. As at March 25, the total value of liquidity assistance provided by the bank via its short-term lending facility and its asset purchase program amounted to $57 billion. We believe that these measures will help to facilitate the smooth functioning of the credit market, support inflation remaining within the 4 to 6% range over the next 8 quarters, and will augment the fiscal measures already put in place by the government in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The economic outlook, however, is characterized by significant uncertainty relating to the spread of the virus and the consequent depth and duration of the economic impact. In the near term, we expect some upward price pressure due to supply chain disruptions and weather-related increases in agricultural prices. However, these will be offset by a sharp decline in oil prices and weaker consumer spending given the expected decline in economic activity. If the domestic and external responses to the pandemic have to be sustained for most of the next fiscal year, the Jamaican economy will contract significantly. In this context, we expect inflation to be at the lower end of the 4 to 6% range over the fiscal year as well as the ensuing 8 quarters. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jamaican economy came into this challenging period on a relatively strong footing in the context of our ongoing economic reform program. The near-term outlook now, however, reflects significant challenges and heightened uncertainty due to COVID-19. Our monetary policy measures, along with the government's fiscal stimulus, are aimed at mitigating the impact of this pandemic on the economy and supporting a speedy recovery once the crisis has passed. Bank of Jamaica will continue to closely monitor the impact of COVID-19 on the economy and stands ready to deploy additional measures, including a reduction of the policy rate and the cash reserves requirement. We need to ensure the continued smooth flow of liquidity to all our participants in the Jamaican financial system and to maintain orderly conditions within the foreign exchange market. Thank you.